So I was thinking of trying to figure out like an actual intro. I don't know if I'll actually do it because I'll probably forget or I just won't do it, but I am gonna attempt to do that. So here's hoping I actually follow through with that train of thought or I don't get distracted by a bird or something. Anyway, so I'm just gonna um you know how this works. I'm not even gonna bother explaining because I'm just so tired of doing that. Anyway, first question. What news headline would you most like to see? Aliens appear in downtown New York and they all look like Ferris Bueller. Not not the actual guy, not what's his name. I know his name, but I forget it right now. But like actually him from Ferris Bueller. I don't know why from Ferris Bueller. That I knew about the aliens thing, but Ferris Bueller was the first thing that came out of my mouth, and I don't know why. I like that movie though. Anyway, that's what news headline I would like to see. Next question: if you were given 10,000, yeah, $10,000. I don't know what that was. I think my brain stopped for a second. If you were given $10,000 to throw an amazing party, gathering, or event, what would that look like? If I had $10,000, well, I hate parties, but they didn't say I had to go. So I would definitely throw a party. I just wouldn't be there because if I had a party with $10,000, then a lot of people would be there, and I would want to jump into a ravine. So I don't know. I don't know what a $10,000 party looks like. I would probably just buy out every bag of chips and soda from the supermarket and like line them up on and chicken wings, I guess. That's what people eat at parties, right? I honestly don't know. And just line them up on tables. That's what they're called. And do that. I'm not I don't know. I don't know what people enjoy. I don't know what people like to do to keep themselves entertained. When was the last time you felt completely out of the loop? I'm always out of the loop. I was never in any type of. I was never in, like, the actual loop. Like, people. Well, adults talk about how kids have all this stuff going on that they don't understand. I didn't understand what was going on when I was one of the kids. I never knew what was going on. I never cared because it all seemed pointless. Well, it was all pointless, but I've I've never been in the loop. On a scale of existential crisis to living the dream, how's life going? My life has always been an existential crisis, but that's just because I think too much. Besides religion and politics, what topic always gets heated in your circle of friends and acquaintances? My friends are really weird and dumb, so they get in like really, because they're the type of people that get into arguments about like movies and stuff. I can't give an example because I most likely kind of zoned out and when I started realizing it was happening. But that's the type of stuff that my friends get into fights about. Would you travel to a foreign country all by yourself? Yeah. Again, I would. Sure, I would. What happens more often than you'd like? What happens more often than I'd like? Random people talking to me on the street. I mean, sure, it only happens like once every year, but I'd really like it if that number got cut down to zero. What genetic modification would you most like to have? I think I want, like, fangs. Like, fangs? Yeah. Like, not like a vampire. Well, I guess, technically. But technically, when I thought about it, I thought like a tiger. I don't really know what I would do with that. Or wings. I think I want wings more because that would be more useful. I think there's a lot of stuff that I want. Like if I can just change the color of my skin, I would make it red or like gray or black. Not like comic black, like actual black. But I feel like I would also just use that to be an assassin, so I probably shouldn't be allowed to do that. Then again, I could use any of them to be an assassin. Am I just trying to get genetic modification to become an assassin? I think I'd just do it to be an assassin. Anyway, what would be the absolute best pet to have? A crocodile. Assuming that, you can get it to listen to you, it'd be crocodile. Or an alligator. Because you can have a moat. Well, I think, because I know one lives on dry land. Well, more on dry land, and the other one lives in the swamp. I think it's crocodile. God, I used to know this, but then I forgot. Technically, I just think I want both. Next question. Do you think your childhood was better or worse than other people growing up in a similar place and time? I mean, in time, probably, because the 90s were weird. So, but again, as far as the place goes, it was a pretty obscure place, so I don't know if that much stuff was going on. I grew up in like East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. There wasn't a lot of hardcore drugs or whatnot in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. So I think I was pretty much average. Then again, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. What's your most common first thought when you wake up? I'm hungry. If you had a disease named after you, what would be the symptoms? If I had a disease named after me, I think it would just be a total shutdown of people's emotional centers. I'm not even joking. I think that's really what a disease named after me would be. I'd be jacked up. It'd be cool to see, though. I kind of want to do that now. Can I do that? I'm probably going to try to do that. Forget I said that. What's one regret you have? I don't regret anything. It's all dumb, but I don't regret any of it. What did you believe for way too long as a child? What did I believe for way too long as a child? That I would grow up normal, because when I was a kid, I was still somewhat average. Then I grew up and I stopped being average, so, yeah. What big event do you think will happen soon that most people aren't expecting? I don't know. Like, what big event do I think will happen that people aren't expecting? Now, I'm pretty sure everything that I'm thinking of, people are totally expecting. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything. I guess I could say a solar flare would erupt from the sun and hit the earth. I guess that is my answer. Oh, there you go. Who is the most creative person you know? Technically, I think I'm the most creative person I know. I guess that's bragging. Well, it's not really bragging since I'm not really proud of it, but I think I'm just the most creative person that I know. So, What seemingly innocent question makes you think it's a trap? How was your day? How ambitious are you? I'm really ambitious. I'm insanely lazy, but I'm crazy ambitious. I mean, world domination, building a cyborg army that'll take over the Earth, launching a rocket into the sun for no particular reason, just because I want to. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but it's the doing it part that I have an issue with. Would you want the ability to hear the thoughts of people near you if you couldn't turn the ability off? Oh, I totally want to be able to read people's minds. Like, even if I can turn it off. Like, I would totally, completely take advantage of that every chance, every absolute second that I could. I mean, it might screw me up, but I'm willing to take that chance. I just am, so, When was the last time you stayed up through the entire night? Well, I work at night, so all the time. I guess going to the opposite of that, it would be when I stayed up during the day in comparison. And I guess last week, because I was doing stuff, and I didn't go to sleep that day after I got back from work. I mean, it's not really a thing for me, because as long as I actually want to do what it is that I'm doing, then I can stay up. It's when I'm bored, like when I'm at work. That's when it's hard. That's why. Well, I feel like that's the same thing for anybody. So I don't know why I'm saying it like I'm special. Working in general just makes you want to not be working. Even people that work during the day have that same issue. So it's not like it matters. If cartoon physics suddenly replaced real physics, what are some things you would want to try? Pushing someone off a cliff. For cartoon reasons. Yeah. What outdated slang do you use on a regular basis? I don't know. All of it. I don't use slang, really. Not when I talk to people. I think I use slang when I talk to myself, but I think that's kind of the point. I mean, if I do use slang, it's my own slang, but that's also me just making up random words because I'm tired of talking to people, and I just say random garbage because I decide to. What was the biggest realization you had about yourself? That I actually don't register emotional connections well, or at all. It's not that I don't register them, I don't, actually feel them. It's weird, because I know that I like people, but I also technically dissociate from the actual feeling of it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, because I'm not a psychologist. It's something like that. I don't know. What topic could you spend hours talking about? Me. I mean, I guess there's other stuff too, but I don't really care about the other stuff. I guess video games. I don't know. What's your What's your best example of fake it till you make it? Well, that's just being an adult. Don't act like you're any better. That's just being an adult. Shut up. What do you do to make the world a better place? Me, personally, nothing. But I also don't actively try to make it worse. So I take that as a win. What values are most important to you? Values? I guess technically, do I have values? I don't think I have values. I mean, maybe I do, but I don't really think what I have can be considered values. I mean, not murdering people, but I don't really know if that's a value or if it's more of a thing I don't do because I know I'd get caught. Oh, that's my value. Don't do stuff that I know I can get caught for. What's something that I don't know? Something I don't know is what I don't know. What's your and then it got worse story? Well, that's just tomorrow, so leave me alone. What nicknames do you have for people in your life? I don't call people by nicknames. And I used to not really understand why, but then I realized that nicknames are usually born out of like events or like verbal connections, people whose name sounds like one thing and then you just decide to call them something else. But they're all like based off of how people feel about you. And I don't call anyone by their nickname. Like, the only people I call by their nickname are people whose names I don't know. Then once I learn that their name is, or how to say it, I stop calling them by their nickname. So, yeah. What's the silliest thing you've convinced someone of? I don't know. Technically a lot, I guess. Because I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I don't know what silly thing I convinced them of. I say a lot of pointless garbage to people that they then just accept. What's the shadiest thing you've seen someone do? Honestly, if it didn't involve me, I probably forgot about it because people's random activities don't mean anything to me, so I don't know. What was the last situation where some weird stuff went down and everyone acted like it was normal and you weren't sure if you were crazy or everyone around you was crazy? What? That never happened. I mean, it did happen, but I knew everyone around me was crazy and I just went with it because, well, if stuff happens, and sometimes, you just gotta go with it because honestly, you just gotta, go with it. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Alright. Bye.